Yeah, that'd be great.
That thing's super rad.
Yeah.
Drew's got this timer. You just flip it. It's like an hourglass sand.
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Was that like 10 minutes or did he say?
I think it's 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
I have one of those that's an hour, I think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah. Boom. All right. Well,
We're recording?
let's go, baby.
Sweet. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Banya. Today we've got Dirty Dana Lundquist
What's
in the
up?
house.
What's up?
Myself and our guest, Dennis Apker.
Apker. A-P-K-E-R, yeah.
Apker.
Yep. Yeah.
Dr. Dennis Apker.
Yes, excuse me, Dr. Dennis Apker.
Apker.
I've been saying
Apker.
Apner this whole time.
Yeah. No, it's not a common last name at all, so.
Yeah. What is that?
I'm not sure. We did 23andMe
Mhm.
before, so my mom's all Irish, but that's my dad's last name, and he's like mostly Irish, part like English or whatever. So we're not totally sure, but probably
Yeah.
Ireland or England.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've got some funky names in Ireland though, like the kind of like the Gaelic
Yeah.
side of things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my mom's maiden name is Donnery, which is
Donnery.
very
Super
obviously Irish. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, hell yeah. Well, boom. So Dennis is a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Trains with us at Area PV. As we mentioned, a doctor in your psychology.
Yeah,
Right.
clinical psychologist.
Clinical
yeah.
psychology. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Father of one boy, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Three. You said 3.5.
Yeah, probably about 3 1/4 or 3
Okay.
3/4 now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got a chill kid or a pretty wild child?
He's pretty wild.
Yeah.
He was pretty chill until he like started moving around. Like he didn't cry a whole lot. He slept well as a baby, but I don't know. At age 2.5 or 3, he's lively, which is a lot of
Yeah.
fun. He's a blast, but
Right.
he doesn't slow down often. His little personality's coming out, which is a sweet personality, but pretty lively at this stage.
That's good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I joke with my kids like it's better like they're all gonna be annoying in one way or another, and like it's better to have them annoying in like an energetic way. You know?
Yeah.
Versus like some kid that's just like sitting around and whining,
Yeah.
being a little turd. You know?
Yeah,
It's-
no,
it'd be-
he doesn't do that.
Cool.
He's been like exposed to all things like iPad or whatever, but he likes his books and then like being lively, which is super
Mhm.
fun. He likes to go to the playground. He tells me like when he turns 16 and can drive himself, the first thing he's gonna do is drive himself to the playground. Which I thought was
We'll see.
super sweet. Yeah, if his,
Some sort of playground.
Yeah. yeah, if he's still into tunnel slides, which is like his big thing now. all slides all the time, but yeah, which is again super fun. It's not like you're just sitting around watching TV with him. He's wanting to like go do stuff all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it
great.
seems super healthy, you know, like to be wanting to be outside, and like I feel like that goes away with some kids, and
Yep.
if you're like our age, I think you get, and tell me if you guys agree, get nostalgic for the time when it's just like all you wanted to do was be outside, and then like
Oh, yeah.
when you see that's not always the case now, it's like, oh my god, you're missing out. Like
Yeah, I feel bad for kids in Arizona, dude. It's brutal here. Like we, this past weekend was like one of the first weekends where we really just kind of like anchored down and like didn't
Yeah.
do anything. Just kind of like my wife and I had to work a bunch and stuff from the computer, and it was just like the kids were bored as hell. They were
Yeah.
just like every 10 minutes, like let's go do something. This sucks.
Yeah.
I'm so bored.
yeah,
Felt pretty bad, but yeah, it's just they can't open the door and just go out for hours.
Right.
It's like literally 100 whatever 10
Yeah.
degrees. You can
yeah,
only do that for a short period, in the
Mhm.
sprinklers and stuff. But,
yeah. My wife's from Detroit, so her family's there, and that's where they are right now. My wife and son, and they're just like, I miss them because it's been a while, and they'll be there for a while, but I don't like wish they were here because
Right.
it's rough, and he's outside the whole time when he's there. He's like enjoyed the fireworks, which was like, I don't know, kind of rough here. you
yeah,
know?
yeah, for sure.
And he and his grandfather out there like planted something, so they're outside in the garden every day, and just like, yeah, I miss him, but like it's hard to wish he was like just here doing
Right.
like trying to find a splash pad and then like just trying to find an air conditioner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect, dude. So you and your wife's families are from Detroit?
No, I just went to grad school there at the
okay.
University of Detroit. I grew up moving around a lot. Pennsylvania mostly.
Okay, what part of PA?
I lived in like 4 or 5 different towns in Pennsylvania, so pretty much everything but Pittsburgh. So northern Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia. I was born in Connecticut, but then after Pennsylvania came out here because I was like just dying to get out of the cold, and my parents did too for my dad's job. And then they kept moving around, and I moved to Detroit, and then wanted to be back here, but stopped in Florida and Texas. I was telling Dan about Texas. We kind of know the same place out there, and then finally out here 3-4 years ago.
So did you do your undergrad in PA and then?
Actually, undergrad in Arizona State.
Oh, okay.
So I was here for 6 years, then left for grad school, then again those other stops in Florida and Texas, then came back here.
Gotcha. Where'd you go to school in Florida? You say?
I went there for an internship.
Okay.
So at my grad program, 5 years in Detroit, and then 1 year like a full-time job.
What was the school in Detroit?
University of Detroit Mercy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I went to Florida Atlantic University to work in their counseling center as a therapist for like it's like a med school's residency kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I got my first job at Texas, so 2 years there, and then just like was really dying to get back out here.
So what kind of therapy do you do, or like doctorate work do you do?
So clinical psychology is pretty broad. It's the broadest degree in mental health, so you can do a lot with it. I got my PhD, and most people that get their PhD do a lot of research, which I kind of liked, but they also exposed us to clinical work, so being a therapist, and I like absolutely loved that, so I kind of just like veered away from research because I loved all things therapy. And a lot of doctorate programs have their theoretical orientation, so kind of a model they focus on, like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is a really popular one. But mine was psychoanalytic, psychodynamic, so with roots back to like Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. It's definitely like, I'm definitely glad I went to a program like that, because it's really, really how I understand people to work, so it's perfect. And the reason I picked that program is because I got rejected from every other one I applied to. So it's just one of those things that like, it's not what you would do. Like I would never move to Detroit, like willingly, but it was the only program I got into, and it was the best one that I could have ever gone to. And like I met my wife there too, so it's just like
worked out nicely.
Yeah, just the stars aligning perfectly. Yeah.
What do you? I studied a little bit of psychology, not anywhere near what you would by far, but I'm just interested in that. And I was reading a little bit recently about Alfred Adler, and his style of, I guess, treatment for people versus Sigmund Freud is kind of different. We went down the Sigmund Freud route of analyzing your past and past traumas and things like that, versus Alfred Adler is more of a what do we do now? Like, how can we change behaviors now towards like looking towards the future and other things? And I'm probably butchering it, but you maybe understand more.
Yeah. I didn't follow a whole lot of Adler, but some of the people I've worked with liked him, and I think he's the one that came up with this idea of like complexes, like the idea of like an inferiority complex or a superiority complex. I think comes back to his idea of, again, complexes, which is pretty cool, kind of a theory of personality as far as I understand it. But I read this book called The Courage to Be Disliked, which was really Adlerian and just didn't like resonate with me. It was sort of it was very philosophical, which I like, kind of the philosophy that led more to Sigmund Freud and Jung. So it would be one I'd have to look more into to know much about. And I don't know, dude. I love what I do for work, and like.
So you're a therapist. You sit down one-on-one with people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's about like 90% of what I do, and the other 10 is probably assessment.
That's blown up. I feel like, and I like it's almost. I almost don't know anybody who doesn't have a therapist at this point. You know.
Dude,
it's super popular, and it's cool because I mean, even like if you don't have like trauma or anything, it's like a cool way to like optimize your mind and like I don't know, just what you're doing. I've never done it, but I think it'd be fascinating too.
Yeah, no, it is. That's definitely more accepted now, almost like trendy now, which is something I'm not always thrilled about. Is like how these things can kind of become, I don't know, trendy. Like it's trendy to say this and that. Like
I met my therapist. Yeah,
and working through my trauma and stuff. And
are you mostly dealing with people with legit trauma, or is it like just a lot of weekend warriors? Just
I would say legit trauma. I feel like if you look on like Instagram or TikTok, it's sort of a lot of people kind of liking these ideas, but not, in my experience, not really the type of people who are gonna like go out to see a therapist when it's just one-on-one. They may be in a more public setting, like, I don't know, doing something that makes a good TikTok reel or whatever, sort of talking about, not to minimize, but talking about, I don't know, ideas of something being traumatic. But if somebody really wants to work through it, they come to a therapist. And I never really find like somebody comes from me for something that's like not really understandably impacting them. The people who come to me are really like, yeah, based on what you went through, I can understand how you feel this way. And it's pretty clear the direction we want to go working through that. It's never like someone comes to me and, they say, oh man, this has been so tough, but it doesn't really impact me day to day.
It's something that's actually bothering them.
Yeah. Like no one's come to me to say like, there was like a super offensive meme or something that's like really what did it to them. But I feel like a lot of the attention online is like to offensive things, and it's not to say that can't be like specifically one's trigger or whatever, but
is there, in your opinion, is there a healthy balance? Because like, again, like you were just saying, like with it being like trendy to have a therapist, and like I think sometimes we maybe think too much about like our own problems and issues instead of just like something that I say about myself all the time. Like, dude, I have a goldfish memory. Like, people could offend me, and like the next day I'm pretty much over it. Like don't give a shit. And it's just like that's been like something I've pinpointed as being super healthy. Is just like not dwelling on shit. And so like there's probably a fine line, right, between like living in your past and like dwelling on shitty things that have happened to you, and a little bit of the Eagles, get over it, bitch.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a new book about that by a guy named Scott Barry Kaufman, really about the victim mindset and how that like he does a really nice job like not minimizing actual trauma, but also saying like if you've been through something, it's likely not your fault, but it is your responsibility to kind of work through it. And there's again sort of a victim mindset you can sit in, because it really takes the responsibility off you. Right. You're like, I don't have to do anything. I can kind of blame this or that, which I think is tempting to a lot of people to kind of like not really assume the power they do have to kind of put something in perspective and grow from it.
Sure.
There's this idea out there that I really like, post-traumatic growth, that instead of like post-traumatic stress, it's like I've been through something. I'm not happy. If I could change the past, I would not go through that thing. But because I can't, and I've accepted that, there are things that I've grown from regarding what I've been through. And so, I think it's like disservice to yourself to kind of neglect that and not, see what can I learn from this and how can I incorporate this into my idea of living fully.
Well, it is, it's super tempting. Like any like failures you have in yourself, like if you have something that you can easily blame them on versus like taking responsibility for the reason that it didn't get done properly.
Right.
You can always kind of have something to lean back on. And I think we all know a couple people in our circles that are a little bit like that, right?
Yeah. It's kind of sad. I don't like look at them like with disgust. I look at them as like, dang, you've got a lot of power that you're not.
So how do you broach that? So somebody's sitting in front of you and they just like can't stop blaming something that happened to them and like, using it as a crutch or an excuse for everything that's going wrong in their life.
Yeah.
What's the gentle nudge into like, hey man, we gotta,
it's
up to you to get past this.
I try to be very validating like to help them know that I understand it's hard and it wasn't their fault. Because again, the people that come to me, it's never like hard to understand why they are having a tough time with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we do spend some time kind of doing that, and then sort of psychoeducation. I mean, and kind of helping them understand why their trauma response is not a sign that they're broken. It's actually a sign that they've evolved into this person who, you know, if you are at risk of being hit by a bullet, from there on, your body's trying to protect you. So if you hear a loud bang,
Mm-hmm.
like it's your body working that it says, this is danger, let me get safe, you know? So that usually takes the shame out of it, or something like that can help with the shame. And once you deal with the shame, then you can sort of say, like, yeah, well, what would you like moving forward? Would you like to kind of be able to be around, you know, fireworks and not have that trauma response? Because sometimes people will say, like, no, I never really cared for fireworks. And it's like, all right, well, that's not like keeping you from living a full life. But
Right.
in what ways are you not living a full life? Would you like to be able to get here or there, get a job there or here, you know, do this that you used to
Yeah,
do?
you find out how it's holding them back.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta get in the cold plunge.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't want to be the first one.
This episode of the Banya is brought to you by Optimize. Optimize is a health and wellness center run by Jesse Meringue, a fellow training partner of ours. They've got amazing center. They've got your cold plunge, your sauna, the infrared, the hot tub, compression therapy, as well as this PEMF therapy. It's like pulse electromagnetic field. It's amazing. Feels crazy, like you get that electro stim. But the idea is you've got a time in there for an hour to switch between different therapies. You can go from the sauna to the cold plunge to the hot tub. Feels amazing. Luke and I just did that last week, and absolutely, it was incredible. So if you're looking to recover from any sort of athletics or just to feel better, go check out Optimize. And for anybody, the listeners, if you just tell them you heard it on the Banya, they'll give you 50% off your first session. So I believe normally it's $39 for the first session for an hour. So it'll be half that. So go check them out. It's an amazing place.
All right, Dennis. So I got some jiu-jitsu psychology, little rabbit hole to go down. So did you listen to that Corey Sandhagen podcast?
No.
It was on Rogan.
No, never. No.
So I threw it up on the zombie chat.
Oh yeah.
So he's an MMA fighter.
All right.
And this dude, he's like I think he does a lot of psychedelics, and he spends a lot of time on his mental game.
Yeah.
And so he probably talked about it for like a solid 45 minutes or an hour on Rogan, like his path to. Or like his mental game.
Yeah.
And so like at the last tournament, right, you and Arun were standing there and you guys were chasing that angry bear.
Yeah,
right?
dude, yeah.
And so he at one point in his career was trying to feed all of his motivation by that as well, like anger. And he said it was just a fuel that he couldn't sustain. And I feel like specifically for you and Arun, like anger isn't your guys's like thing.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you guys aren't roid heads. You guys are very cerebral. So listen to this Corey Sandhagen.
Sandhagen, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's like I wish you had already listened to it. I think I'd love to hear what you think about it. I think it's right up your guys' alley.
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate you saying that and recommending that.
Yeah, so he basically approaches his competitions going in extremely calm and loose with basically he just completely kills his ego essentially. So coming up to the fight, he basically is nothing. He has nothing. You know, he just is a man with nothing to lose, basically. Yeah. That's a pretty scary opponent to come up against, you know, and so he's just like relaxed, but also, you know, ready to literally die out there. You know, if you can juke yourself into that mindset before a match, I think specifically like for you and Arun, and I'm definitely going to be leaning more into this too, because I don't feed well off of anger either. Like I know guys that like would get all like you know, roidy rage kind of
we were
thing,
trying
but
that
like
for sure.
it just it never worked for me either. So I'm pretty excited to chase this one down on the next competition that I do and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Just trying to release everything, and like it is it's kind of a scary battle to like get to a point where you literally believe in your head that you know you have nothing and you are nothing and nothing, you know, nothing matters, you know. That's like a scary feeling to flirt with.
But dude, I would love that, because like I realized I put so much meaning on winning this one, because there'd been talks and I knew Vinny said it was going to be your last comp as a white belt, and I've not won one yet. So I was like, well, I have to win because of that. And Arun and I did 2 privates with Vinny, so it's like, all right, I'm ready. I need to win to like, it's like a way of saying thank you to Vinny, and like, just doing it with Arun, we both had this idea that, yeah, like this is what we wanted. That blue belt's coming, and this is our last comp as a white belt. We got to win this, and I would love to be in a place where like the next time I want to work on this, like not have any of that meaning and ego, and just like nothing like that matters. Everything is going to be fine one way or another, and like there's no like nothing to lose, like you said. Yeah.
And I think it's especially in a sport like jiu-jitsu that's pretty cerebral, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of chess moves. Being relaxed and just in the flow state, I think, is going to help a lot more than being like overly tight and aggressive.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I think it'll pay off for that reason as well. Did you ever get around to listen to that one yet?
I listened to most of it. Yeah.
I mean, towards the end is where he really dives into like a lot of the bosses. So this guy, he like went through a journey where he like defeated certain things with, and this would probably be fascinating for you anyways, just as a psychologist, but like different, like he calls them bosses, where like he would in his mind defeat all these things, and like they were kind of like holding him back in his mind. And like the last one, he grew up a super religious kid, and so he said the last one was he had vanquished all these other bosses, and he's sitting up on the edge of a cliff with Jesus, who's his homie, and Jesus turns to him and says, "You got one more boss to defeat." And he's like, "All right, let's go. Where is he?" He says, "It's me."
Yeah.
And he says, "You got to push me off this cliff." And he like lets go him. He, you know, basically saying that having him on a pedal stool and like is just one last thing that he is beholden to. He explains it a lot better than I am right now, but it's super fascinating. As you know, I didn't grow up religious at all, but I'm sure for him who did, that was a pretty significant thing to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
To let go of. But like that was basically him like fully letting go of everything.
Yeah.
Know? And just being his own, like nothing else, you know.
Yeah.
Bound to nothing.
I gotta check that out.
So yeah, it's
I like that idea.
It's kind of freaky stuff, you know, but like it's not a world where I would want to like be in, you know, 365 days out of the year, but like if you got a big tournament coming up, it would be super fun to try to slip into that ego death world and just try to be as fluid and relaxed as possible.
Yeah. That's the idea of bosses, like different bosses you have to beat. I like that. Yeah. It's like, it's kind of like a video game metaphor, right?
It's like gamifying life.
Yeah. The dude's, he's a super big nerd for sure.
Yeah. Certain levels, like you probably have to, I don't know, defeat something in yourself before the next level is available to you. Mm-hmm. Can't think of like a good example of that, but I'm sure life is full of them.
Yeah. Well, you could think of like say like on a health journey, for example. One of those levels is recognizing and learning about food and what food is good, what's not good. Yeah. And taking the time to go, okay, I know that this isn't good for me. So just changing the way you eat. I know that's how I did it when I started jiu-jitsu. Yeah. I just would eat whatever. And then I realized that when I'd go to train at 6 p.m., I had a burger at lunch and I'm still feeling that burger 6 hours later.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I got to figure out what I can eat so that I don't feel it later in the day. I can train well.
Yeah.
So I changed the way I eat just based on what I wanted to do more than eat or whatever. It was, I wanted to be able to train well. So that was the goal. So what else revolved around that? So it's kind of like that was a level. And now I don't even have to think about it anymore. Like how I eat, I just, it's kind of second nature.
Yeah. I love that. That's a perfect example because it's like you're saying, you don't even think about it now because that's last level's boss, you know?
Yeah.
And so you got bigger and more meaningful bosses now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're brand new blue belt.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
we didn't
you,
say
sir.
so.
Congrats.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Congrats to Arun as well.
Yeah. That was such a fun day. Everybody came
man.
out and cheered on. It was a blast.
Yeah, that was cool. So tell us we were talking about mindset for the tournament. What was your mindset going in? How do you feel about it? Were you
I'll be back.
amped up? Were you excited?
Yeah. Let me get one
Let's
of
get a
these in
cold
too,
plunge
and then
and we'll come back.
let's go over that.
All right.
Where's your head at with Vegas?
I don't think so.
No.
It's just too much. Just a lot with the hunting trip, and I'm just not even. I don't know. I don't think I'm into it right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it half-assed, and I'm definitely not 100% right now. So
Yeah.
I may still go and watch. I got a hotel room, so I may still go. We'll see. I can still cancel it if I need to, but probably not going to compete, unfortunately. But you should do it, dude.
When is that?
You get a world championship.
I'm just a little concerned right now. We'll
That
see.
bursitis healed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can't remember how long this shit takes to.
Yeah.
Vegas is
go
when?
away.
Master Worlds.
okay.
End of August.
All right. Yeah.
So we got 2 months.
Yeah.
Not even like
Not even.
8 weeks or probably 8 weeks or so. So all right, so tell us about
Mindset.
your mindset with the tournament, getting ready for it, the day before, and then in the bullpen, standing there ready to go. Walk us through it.
Yeah. Well, I think it kind of, as we talked, like probably not the right mindset for me, you know. So like the kind of trying to hype myself up, hype Arun up, and like it was weird because we went at 5 p.m. and all day I was doing that. So by like 1 p.m. I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know? And, so that's, and kind of what you guys have been saying. It's sort of like, stop thinking about like, I have to freaking win this because we've been training for it, and stop putting so much ego and meaning into it. So that was like, I was not happy. Like I got Americana twice, and that's like, I was like super bummed with myself. So bummed that I was like, I'm getting Americana, and I like didn't want to tap, and now my arms are still messed up because I like both of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was not good. But I like learned more that day than I feel like I ever learned.
Mm-hmm.
Like that okay, your mindset isn't working. You're not like better when you are amped up, which I should have known that from just being who I am for however many years I've been alive. It's like I kind of do better when I just like calm down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and the goal to strive for is not like be the maddest. It's like kind of what you guys are saying, like let go of some of the things that like are making you tense, and just sort of like get out there and with a clearer mind. Like we've been training hard, so we kind of know what to do. And I think the kind of amped upness was like more clouding my memory than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's funny. So my wife and I left the competition. We were going back to my car in that parking garage, and we got off at the second floor. It's like, the car's not on the second floor. We walk up to the third floor because I hear it beeping. It's like not up here either. It's at the fourth floor. And like, I had no recollection of parking it.
Yeah.
Because I was so in my head about everything, before the comp. So I feel like that's evidence that like, if you don't remember where you parked your car, maybe you don't remember like all the jiu-jitsu that you've been learning.
Yeah.
To a degree that would have been beneficial. So yeah. So I don't know. And beforehand, I'll tell you, I listened to Bino's podcast, interview here about visualizing, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to visualize myself winning and stuff. And I couldn't do it. I was like, trying to do it, and I'm still like, I'm gonna lose, dude. There's like a big part of me that was just so doubtful, and I realized I got to get over that. But like, and talking to you guys now, sharing about that podcast you listen to, it's sort of like, I don't think I get there by like getting more amped up. I think I like relax and trust myself more, and
for sure.
yeah.
I find that if I think I'm gonna go 100% this role or this match or whatever, you can't really go 100% if you're focused on doing that.
Yeah.
I like to think, okay, go 75, 80%. You got to leave that room for your mind to think, to be able to work through problems. Because if you're thinking I'm going 100%, that means physically I'm going 100%.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to leave a little bit of space to be able to think.
Yeah. I think I might have heard you say that before.
Yeah.
You've said something like that.
I've said it a couple times, I think, before. Yeah.
That's perfect. Mateus was saying like, yeah, it's like 80% mental. It's like, holy yeah, is it? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, all the that's why we do jiu-jitsu every day or 4 or 5 times a week, is to make it muscle memory so that you can think about what you're going to do, because all the things that you need to do, it's going to happen. You're going to make those movements or those positions happen already. You need to be able to think through the other, portion of that's kind of reacting to your opponent or acting on your opponent in a way that you need to impose your will. Yeah, and kind of like I was saying, I kind of doubted myself and like couldn't do the visualizing as much as I wanted to. I'd visualize myself losing. I have this habit of when I'm, in a bad position, I don't give up physically, but I'm like, I'm done. I can't do anything. I'm going to lose. When really we practice that every day, is getting out of a bad position. So
I really focus on like, when I do visualizations, I don't like picture the hand getting raised. Like that part doesn't matter to me at all. It's all about like, I've got my game plan, and then I just keep going over that in my head. Like, I'm going to do this. And then I just see myself doing that move that I've done 100 times in the gym, and I just focus on like the actual jiu-jitsu of it. Like the win-lose thing, it shouldn't even be part of the conversation in there. It's just like, what does Dennis do? Like, what's your takedown? And then what's your submission that you go for? And then you just keep going over that in your head. That to me is like, that puts you in a really good spot, because then you're not worrying about the ego win-lose thing. It's just all about the jiu-jitsu. And I have to say that was for sure the most relaxed I've ever been. And I mean, I really focused on that. Like I was catching you, I was trying to get you on board with that. But like, dude, I was feeling that, all day, just real super relaxed, just thinking about my game. Yeah. The whole day. Yeah. Anytime I think about the tournament, because it can be like really mentally draining to think about competitions constantly, and like the nerves that come with that. But anytime my mind would go to the tournament, I would just be thinking about the cool shit I was gonna do. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, I love that. It's cool talking to you guys about this right now, because I knew I was gonna do this tonight with you guys, so I re-listened to that podcast, the Foxcast with Vinny, Cabe, and Brendan. Yeah. So I remember I was like, there's some things that meant a lot to me on that podcast. It's been like a couple years, so I want to listen again.
Yeah, that was a rad podcast. I want to listen to that too.
Yeah. Let's do one of these, and then I want to bring something up from that.
Cool. Yep. All right. So you had something. What did I ask you last?
Oh yeah. We're talking about mindset. And I wanted to bring up something from the Foxcast episode with Vinny, Brendan, and Cabe. It was like, I don't want to like misspeak because they said it really well, but they were saying something like your kind of pattern or go-tos and behavior in jiu-jitsu is really like a reflection of your personality. Like, you notice certain people are a certain way, maybe socially or personally or personality-wise, and that's kind of like how they are in jiu-jitsu. Like, you may be really aggressive or maybe kind of more reactive and kind of chill, let the other person strike, and then you do your thing. So I thought that was pretty brilliant, because and right after listening to that the first time, so a couple years ago, I realized that's pretty true for me. Like, pretty laid back and So, I'm not type to kind of like jump in and try to like force something to happen. Pretty like, I don't know, maybe like like super nice and super caring, and so maybe a little less likely to go for something a little bit risky.
Uh-huh.
Actually, RB pointed that out to me early on, and when I super appreciate it, he's like, I feel like you're worried about hurting someone, and you don't need to be like careless or anything, but you're a strong guy. You can really like go for it, and like that's
Yeah.
kind of like how I am personality wise too. So.
Mhm.
And then after a few like RB's comment and that Foxcast episode, I was thinking, like, is there a way to kind of like develop your personality through jujitsu? Like, if you can try to start, I don't know, if I try to be a bit more aggressive in jujitsu and less worried about hurting, hurting someone, because like we're all pretty safe there. Maybe I'll develop this more comfortable mindset with conflict, or
Mhm.
in my job as a therapist, there's an important element of that is confrontation. Like maybe saying to your client something like, "Hey, I know, I think you need to give your partner some credit here. He or she's been doing this," rather than just being like validating.
Mhm.
And that conflict is probably the one aspect of what I do that's super important that I'm not very good at. Or I'm sorry, the confrontation. So I always wondered if like, and I think I've heard people say as much, that you maybe get a bit more assertive when you get better at jujitsu. You kind of learn this confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Mhm.
plays out in the rest of your life too, which is something I've certainly been after.
For
Yeah,
sure.
that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I've seen that along the wrestling path.
Yeah.
And also, like, I'll say this too, like, I know certain guys who are complete teddy bears in real life, but then when they step on the mat,
Yeah,
it fucking sucks to go against them. Like, they
Yeah,
are
dude.
crowbars. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
like, they're trying to whoop your ass, and they're mean on the mat. But off the mat, stand-up human
Yeah.
beings, like,
Yeah.
super sweet people.
My guess
So-
would be those folks, and correct me if I'm wrong in your experience, that those folks, they can be kind of teddy bears off the mat, but if they need to kind of assert themselves off the mat, they do have that ability. Because I think it's a lot because they have confidence, and like
Mhm.
I think actually there's like research in prisons where and I've heard this about high schools too, that there's a lot of fights or whatever, and then they learn jujitsu, and you would think, oh my god, that's a terrible idea. Now people are going to get hurt in these fights, but it brings the fighting down, because
Yeah.
people, you know that you have something powerful, and therefore you have nothing to prove, and there's
Right.
no immature sort of like, let's see who can come out on top. It's sort of like a quiet confidence that I know I have something, so I like don't need to prove it. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, so I'm gonna walk away from this.
Yeah,
So
they know
comfort with
they
that.
they get to test their metal, so to speak, in a safe way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So they don't need to wonder if they can pull it off in real life and
Yeah.
Yeah.
test those boundaries.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because
no,
that's-
that makes sense.
yeah. I feel like that's dangerous. Somebody that has like something to prove, something to show off against someone else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what led you to jiu-jitsu? How'd you get into it?
Yeah. So I got the original interest from a podcaster I like, Sam Harris. If you guys
Uh-huh.
ever listen to him,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think he recently had like a question on his podcast. You still do jiu-jitsu? He's like, no, I got hurt too many times or whatever. But he used to talk about it, and he was like buddies with Jocko Willink, and they talked about rolling a couple times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, I really like him. I'm always looking for something new to do, because skateboarding was my life until I got too old for it at like 23.
Yeah.
And it's like, after that, I was looking for something else. So like I used to get in these
Real quick, are you a street guy or a park?
mostly street. I was mostly street. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We had a ton of fun with it growing up.
Sorry. Okay.
No,
back
yeah.
back to the jiu-jitsu.
So after that, I moved again to Detroit for grad school, and didn't have my skateboarding friends here, and didn't like develop them there. So I was like, I should do something else, and like thought I was gonna get real into kayaking or hiking or whatever. But jujitsu, was an idea for a long time. I remember Sean Babin saying like, I've been saying I want to get into it for like last 3 years, you know, and then finally pulled the trigger on it. And that's how I was. I was like, I should do this. And then like, I finally pulled the trigger on it like the day before the world shut down with COVID. So I did it like a few times in Texas, and I was like, this is sweet. And then like the gym closed and everything. So stopped doing it. And then here, my wife and son were doing their first sort of super long trip to Michigan, and I was going to stay here and work. And my wife I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And my wife's like, you should try jiu-jitsu again. And it was one of those things where like, as soon as she said that, it's like, yeah, that's the best idea.
Yeah.
So, and then, I could have just done it like once again and just been like, yeah, that's not for me. But kind of meeting Kabe and meeting everybody at the gym was huge.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, man, it just, if you have any interest in jiu-jitsu and then you have like a great welcoming experience, which everybody does at our gym.
Yep. Like a crew.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes you want to stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The community's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good. All right, we'll come back.
Yeah, man.
All right, Dennis, you got anything else you just gotta say?
Yeah, maybe just some shout outs. I love your guys' podcast. It's sick.
Thank you.
I think like as cool as jiu-jitsu is and as cool as our gym is, it makes sense to like talk a lot about it. You know? And it's been a sweet way of learning about people who go to the other classes other than the morning, and because I like never really get to see them. And
even our other morning guys.
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
It's crazy how colorful we all are. You know? Like I never, this doing this podcast has been a pretty big eye opener for me as far as like the complexities of most people's lives.
Yeah, and just talking to you guys tonight, like, really helped me with the whole mindset idea. Like, I was kind of sharing my goals of, you know, using jiu-jitsu to further other areas of my life with confidence and conflict and confrontation and sort of a way of thinking about that is I need to get angrier and get, you know, and like to talk to you guys about, why don't you try like the other way in a competition, like focus on relaxing. I actually kind of think that's probably my way of sort of tapping, you know, further parts of me, is not like trying to force something I don't feel, like some sort of, again, anger, but more sort of just kind of relax with it. And yeah.
And to your point, like the confidence thing, like, you know, I bring this into like other aspects of my life. Like I've got a lot of customers, and some of them are jackasses. Some of them, you know, try to test boundaries and stuff. And I walk around with my head super high because I know like I work my ass off. My crew works their ass off. Like we do everything we do, you know, we're relaxed about it, but we work hard. And so like if somebody tries to give me any ounce of shit, it's just not fucking happening. You know what I mean? So like I don't walk around like trying to like being an asshole, but I don't take any shit from anybody. You know what I mean? Because I know like I fall asleep every night knowing that I give everything I can, and there's just no doubts about it. You know? So that's one of the things, like, you know, being relaxed and like getting good at jiu-jitsu and giving it your all. I think that does translate into some pretty heavy confidence in other realms. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't sound like to be able to do that, you need to kind of walk around with a hot head and like be ready to fly off the handle at any time. It just sort of sounds like,
but sometimes, you know,
sometimes
people need to hear it, you know. And that's been something like I've talked about this before, but like I've begun this journey of like extreme openness and like really letting people know what I'm thinking. You know, not trying to be an asshole or anything, but whereas before in previous years, I definitely was like, oh, I don't want to upset this person or whatever. It's like I don't really have those thoughts anymore. It's like I look at it more like, this isn't helping them or me by pussyfooting around this situation. Like,
Yeah.
just you lay it out like, hey, this is not okay. You can't do this or that. Like, we got this set up this way, you know,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
It's a pretty fucking nice way to live, I'll say, because, you know, I've done it the other way and it's not as fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And generally, like, most people don't get upset at that either. They kind of respect
Right.
the boundaries being drawn and you kind of standing your ground and stuff. So.
That's like my favorite trait in people is authenticity. Because like a lot of what I do is trying to better myself as a therapist. Because I just think about that all the time. And you can't be inauthentic as a therapist. Because if you try to empathize with someone and they know you don't actually empathize with them, it doesn't go anywhere. But if you can like find the human aspect in them to empathize, and it's genuine, authentic empathy, they feel it, and it can be super healing. So, and I think that means, you know, establishing a relationship in which you call them on their bullshit. If
feeling comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Letting them know that it's okay too. You
know?
Yeah,
yeah, and it doesn't destroy the relationship and makes it stronger because the relationship survives.
Yeah,
some tension. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And those relationships, when you do have to be brutally honest, I mean, if they don't last, it probably wasn't meant to last.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Not somebody who's good for either of you.
Right. Yeah. If you lose an inauthentic relationship,
it's probably for the best.
Right. Yeah. Your losses aren't too catastrophic. Yeah.
Fuck
Thank you, dude. Feels
well,
like
one thing I want
to
to bring up, or just tell you or to look into is I found this this artist called Marconi Union.
All right.
You should check them out. There's a white paper on them. Like it's clinically shown to reduce anxiety just by listening to it because of the tones and something. But check them out. Anybody else? Like I listen to that when I'm getting ready to compete. Like I'm literally it's just tuned into this Marconi Union, and it's a whole like album of all these different songs that do that. So
that's so cool. I appreciate you saying that. I've never heard of him, but I've been in the bullpen with you. Like, I wonder what everybody else is listening to, because I'm listening to the angriest shit I can find, which is not even stuff I like. So that's cool. I love the idea of kind of exchanging.
Slap them water on the rocks, baby, before I die. I don't like to listen to anything. I like because like I always was like, one day my headphones are gonna be broken, and if I get used to like having to listen to something, I just want to be as au natural.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling it on the sunburn now. Oh yeah. Oh man, feels like somebody poured some coffee on my sunburn.
That's the most painful one.
Oh man, that was a good one.
I'm fucking out.
All right,
well, thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
Appreciate
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.